trend.
Like mass uprising. No, it was like 10 to 15 people in the mountains of Cuba. Did y'all know that? It was like, I mean, not that the sentiment wasn't there, but we have a world sentiment that we want to overthrow the system of policing that kills our people, right? That's a global sentiment, right? But there's this story. I've been to Cuba now 3 times, right? There's this story that Fidel and Che and a bunch of others, you know, maybe a dozen others, were up in the mountains. And this, I think it was a New York Times journalist, got word about what was happening, right? It's not that there wasn't discontent among people, right? But they're in the mountains of Cuba, and they agreed to grant this journalist an interview. And they said the interview has to happen like after dinner, so it's like dark, right? And so the journalist is sitting there interviewing Fidel. And as he's doing this interview, like there's campfires, people will walk by, right? And so somebody will walk by and they got on boots. Then that same person would put on a jacket and walk by again, right? Walk by with a hat, walk by with no hat, right? It was a dozen, maybe 20 people in the mountains. But this article comes out and says hundreds of guerrillas in the mountains of Cuba, right? And so that gave the will to everybody else. They were like, now we can rise up. I'm saying that to say, all you need is you and your little friends to sit in a room, plot and plan some shit, and everybody else will come.
That's right.
I'll tell one more quick story. When George Floyd was murdered, I'm not bragging, but one of my best friends, y'all know who Kendrick Sampson is?
Yes.
Okay. So the actor Kendrick Sampson is one of my best friends, right? Kendrick calls me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, so what are we gonna do? Like, don't know what we gonna do. And this is how things move. This is how movement moves. And he's like, we should plan some shit. I'm like, okay, we'll plan some shit. So we start planning, we go, okay, we're gonna go to the Grove. You know, we have a principle in Black Lives Matter that we always disrupt spaces of white capitalism. We build in Black community and disrupt white capitalism, right? So the Grove is like the fancy mall, right? So we decided to meet at the park across from the fancy mall. This is me and Kendrick, and then we call Joseph and a couple of other people, right? And we plan out this little program. We knew it would probably be a lot of people, right? Because that was, I think, on a Tuesday, and that Wednesday, we had a regular weekly protest that Sister Charmaine used to come to try to get rid of the LADA. And so that one was huge that Wednesday. So we figured the one that we were planning, that we were putting out social media posts about, we'd get a lot of people. But we didn't expect it was going to be tens of thousands of people. This was 2 damn people at 2 o'clock in the morning plotting and planning some shit, and then we wound up shutting down that whole area, right? It's not like, don't think everything has to be perfect, right? All you really need is an idea and to get some people there. And if you think you're not gonna get a lot of people, that's okay. You know what magnifies what you're doing? Signs. So even if you got 5 people with signs standing on a corner, that shit is meaningful. And so don't wait for there to be mass uprising. 2020 probably isn't coming again. This is 2023. So how do you build in 2023, right? So I just wanna offer that. Don't be disheartened. Remember that every movement that's led us further down freedom's road, it's only been a couple of people at first.